Today we'll be looking at a landlord tenant hearing. In this hearing, the defendant alleges that he went without a door for 3 months and the previous tenants had roaches. Whether or not the landlord was doing the treatments like they should have, he had to keep the window open. Also the numbers are all over the place, 10,000 to 6,000, and its actual number is 5,100. So let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe.
Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes, I can. Mr. Vanderrees, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Very good. We're a little early, but there's no harm in starting early if everybody's here. Here are Mr. and Mrs. Learn. Matt, you're having problems with your signal. You need to update your Zoom.
Yes, sir.
But we're okay.
I had my IT
Good
guys in the other
Mr.
day.
Learn, can you hear me? All right. Well, this is file 23150LT, Monty and Vicky Learn versus Joshua Vandervries, Learn Investments LLC. Mr. Matthew Davidson is here on behalf of the Learns, and Mr. Josh Vandervries is here as the tenant. This is a demand for non-payment of rent. Mr. Vandervries, as a tenant in a landlord-tenant, as a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, including non-payment of rent, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If the action is for non-payment of rent, which is what this is, and if you are eligible for any assistance, you may not need the actual judgment of the court. The summons and complaint should be sufficient, and you already have that. If the plaintiff is agreeable, the Citizens Mediation Services, Inc. may be available as a possible source of case resolution. If both parties are agreeable to mediation, the court can help set that up. If you reach an agreement with the plaintiff and a consent judgment is entered by the court, you would waive the rights listed above and have the following additional rights. The judgment could not be enforced until 3 business days had passed. You could move to set aside the judgment within those 3 days if you misunderstood what you consented to or what you were waiving. Your motion to set aside the judgment would be set for a landlord-tenant hearing. However, if the judge did not find in your favor, the original judgment would stand. Mr. Davidson or Mr. Learn, can you tell me what Mr. Vandervries' current arrearage is?
Want me to tell you?
Yeah, go ahead.
$10,712.50.
And then, hold on.
$10,712.50.
Correct.
Mr. Davidson, can you still hear me?
Yes, Your Honor, and I'm not quite sure how it jumped to that. I was going to add 750 to the 4350 in the complaint.
Yeah, how did we get up to 10,000?
Hold on. I'm sorry. That was already paid.
$6,362.
That was August 2022 through March of 2023.
At the time of filing, it was 4,350. If we add 750 to that, it gets $5,100.
That's what I was expecting, Your Honor. There may be other damages that would be owed, but just on the basis of the rent, Your Honor, that's it.
All right, we'll just go with rent right now through March.
Yeah.
That's $5,100. Mr. Vandervries, your landlord says your rent hasn't been paid in many months. He wants you to either pay the rent or move out. There's $5,100 worth of rent, and there may be additional damage. But right now, we're just talking about rent. What's your position here?
Well, it started when my door got kicked in June. I had to call the police, put a complaint in. I went 3 months without a front door. And then they did inform me that the person who lived here before me, this place was infested with cockroaches. Well, they're now back. I don't know if the treatments didn't get continued like they were supposed to or what. But like I have to leave my slider open all winter to keep it like 45, 50 degrees in here to keep the
Let me ask you, do you wish to stay there or do you wish to move?
Well, I'm trying to move. I've been looking for a place for the last month. I'm actually talking with Larry and Terry Richmond right now. And they're trying to find me something. I'm hoping within the next 2 to 4 weeks that I'll just be able to be out of here.
There's a way to not pay your rent. It's called putting the rent in escrow, but you haven't done that properly. There may be issues with it. I drove by there Sunday. I was looking to see Pine Street dead ends and Elm Street also dead ends, but I was looking at where they were talking about putting that back entrance out of that new subdivision, which probably doesn't make the people on Pine Street very happy. So I was just over there, drove past that apartment for the first time in some time. It looks like it needs a little repair, but it's been a nice place for a long time. Anyway, the law requires I adjourn this 1 week, whether I like it or anybody else does. And if we go to next week, you would get 7 more days from that day, or 10 more days, which is 17 days. So I'm going to continue this.
All right. I just had one question too. It says in my lease that the rent's $725.
Yes, it does.
And I know when I was behind in rent only a couple months, I messaged Vicky and I asked her, how much exactly do I owe? I was like, I'm trying to give you like $500 a week until it's caught up. And then she never responded to me. And then she told my mom during youth bowling, because their son bowls with my niece, that they don't want my money. They just want me out of here.
How many dogs you have in the apartment?
I have one, just my dog.
How many did you have?
My
When I
dog
was there, you had 10 of them.
Mr. Learn, last I knew I was in charge around here. You just sit there and be quiet. Rent is $725 per the lease. We're all over the map. It's $10,000, it's $6,000, it's $5,000. If they wanted to terminate your tenancy for having dogs in the apartment, they could have done that. If you wanted to not pay your rent because you had no front door, there's a way to do that. I'm surprised this passes city inspection if it was that long without a door. But at any rate, probably the best bet is for you to move. So I'm going to continue this to next Thursday, March 24th, 2023. Matthew, does 1:15 work for you?
The date again, please, Your Honor.
Next Friday.
Okay, 1 second.
Actually, we can do it in the morning. 11:15, does that work?
Just 1 second, please. And that's the 24th?
Yes.
I have a hearing for Maple Crest at 10:30, so the morning would be fine. Or at 9:30, excuse me.
Yeah, let's leave it for 11:15. All right, Mr. Vandervries, you need to zoom in again next Friday morning at 11:15. We'll work on that total number. If everything is based on 750, the lease says 725 until March of 2023. So the whole calculation may be wrong. But if you move, the dollar amount isn't so important. That'll be taken up at a subsequent damage hearing. So next Friday is the 24th of March. You would get 10 days from there to move out, which would also take us into April's rent, but it would give you until April 4th to move or be subject to being evicted. If you do move, you need to turn in the keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. If you have moved, you don't need to be here next Friday. If you haven't, you need to be here at 11:15, and we'll address the matter further at that time. Matt, if you go into the Zoom controls, there's some little things you can do to update it, and I think your program's out of date, which is why it's all flashing around like that. But maybe you can get some help. All right, we'll readdress this matter next Friday morning at 11:15. You're all free to go.
All right. Now, would it be the same Zoom number
Same
to
Zoom
get in?
number. Yep. You'll get
All
a
right.
new notice, hopefully. All right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next Friday morning.
All right. Have a good day, sir.